Oh, hello. Yes, I have an odd tale this morning. Yes, Durham University over the last couple of days, both Daily Mail, Daily Telegraph, and various other outlets that have effectively copied those two, have been reporting about the odd events at Durham University involving one of the principals of their college, Mr. Lockhurst, Professor Lockhurst, his wife, the writer, Rod Liddle, and the student body. And this has turned into one of those, oh, isn't it dreadful that these people can't speak and these woke snowflakes just can't accept things? Well, that's very much how it's being presented. However, if you actually do a little bit of digging, you find out something else, which I'll come on to in just a moment. But of course, basically what happened was the students turned up for a dinner. Rod Liddle gave an after-dinner speech, which might best be described as racist, sexist, and transphobic. Because it's Rod Liddle. And the students at various stages, or various students, walked out. Afterwards, there's video of them berating the Professor Lockhurst about him inviting Rod Liddle. More of that later. And his wife appears to go into some sort of weird rant at them, saying arse a lot. It all looks very odd, to my way of thinking. But, of course, the Free Speech Union, Toby Young, has jumped on it. So let's read what they have to say, and then we'll see what exactly the facts are. So, the Free Speech Union have said the vilification and abuse of Professor Lockhurst for inviting Rod Liddle to give an afternoon speech is an absolute disgrace. If students cannot cope with hearing opinions they find disagreeable, they shouldn't be at university. Durham says it believes in upholding academic free speech. But if so, why has it placed Professor Lockhurst under investigation for describing the decision of students to walk out of the speech as pathetic? In expressing that perfectly lawful view, Professor Lockhurst was exercising his right to free speech, and penalising him for doing so could well be a breach of the law that requires universities to uphold free speech on campus. Professor Lockhurst is a member of the Free Speech Union, and we are supporting him. Oh, is he now? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's really awful, isn't it? Because university has just decided with these awful students to have a go at Professor Lockhurst, who's only exercising his right to free speech from the Free Speech Union. So let's read what the university has to say about this. The university categorically does not agree with the comments reported from a speech given by an external speaker at this occasion, and is concerned at reports that the behaviours exhibited at the occasion fall far short of those that we expect. Okay. And the exchange of ideas within the university should at all times be conducted in a tolerant manner. Everyone has a right to live, work and study in a respectful environment. True. We are looking into this as a matter of urgency, and an investigation into the circumstances is now underway. The Mail has tried to contact Professor Lockhurst for a comment, but not got one, just to add that to it. So, yes, I mean, there's obviously something else going on here. I wonder what it might be that the Daily Mail and the Daily Telegraph aren't reporting. Well, we have to turn to the New Statesman for that, where we get to the bare bones of the matter. So, let's quote from that. Liddle, columnist and associate editor of The Spectator, where Toby Young works, was invited last week, 3rd December, to a formal Christmas dinner at South College, Durham University, by its principal, Professor Tim Lockhurst. Okay. I've seen the booking info, and the students who paid £10 to be at the dinner were not informed on signing up that Liddle would be a guest speaker, which might explain the reason why they were perhaps unhappy to see him or hear him, which might explain perhaps why several of them at various times got up and walked out whilst he was speaking. Because if I'd paid to be at dinner and some person turned up and effectively abused me, I think I'd walk out as well. That doesn't make me a snowflake woke person. That makes me a person demanding some form of respect from the person that's hosting it. Anyway, although he'd written gleefully about the evening and the prospect of meeting some student prostitutes, there in his Spectator column on 20th of November. Right, yes. So, he hadn't the student body had not been informed about this, okay? And you might say, oh, well, they should just find out then, shouldn't they, by reading the Spectator? No, and no. Imagine if I invited you to a dinner party and without telling you, also invited somebody that I knew full well would go on to insult you throughout the course of the evening. You would rightly be angry about that. But of course, this isn't being presented this way, is it? I don't know if this is just one of those kind of weird things whereby a bunch of people, unfortunately about my age who should know better, decide to rather gleefully have a bit of a laugh with young people, which isn't very pleasant, really. It's got all the appalling aspects of a very, very bad practical joke. Or if this is some sort of weird setup whereby the Free Speech Union is thinking that they could magically make something out of this. Unfortunately, I think this realistically has backfired and we won't hear any more of it at all as a free speech issue, other than maybe Toby Young bringing it up in about a month's time as magically something. And oh yeah, do you remember that time Rod Little was cancelled and the bloody student, useless and pathetic, aren't they? Anyway, we'll see. As ever with these things, it's whenever you actually find out what happens, it's almost invariably not what is reported in the newspapers. News. It's not the news, is it? It's not those who, what, how, when, where, how and why questions at all. It's just, oh, we have a political agenda to follow, and we're very, very determined that we're going to get the laws that we want into universities. That's what that looks like, doesn't it, Toby? Yeah, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Toby? I wonder if you're looking forward to seeing those student prostitutes. I wonder.